I used to spend 4 hours every single week cleaning my 1,800 square foot home. And after each cleaning session, I'd still feel exhausted, stressed, and my house never truly felt organized. Have you ever wondered why tiny homes in Japan always seem magically clean and orderly? Why is it that while we own spacious homes filled with modern conveniences, we still feel suffocated in our own spaces? 2 years ago, I arrived in Tokyo with a tired heart and a home perpetually in chaos. I stayed in an apartment that was barely 600 square feet, where everything had its place and the air was filled with peaceful calm. The host smiled and said something I'll never forget. "We don't clean harder, we clean smarter." Today, I'm not just sharing 15 small Japanese habits with you. I'm taking you on a journey that will completely transform how you see your home. A home isn't just a place to live. It's where your soul and energy are nurtured every single day. In the next 30 minutes, you'll discover how to save at least 5 hours every week with just 5-second habits. How to transform your home into a truly relaxing sanctuary, even if you have young children and a demanding career. And most importantly, the secret to creating a living space that makes you smile every time you walk through the door. The best part? The tools you need aren't expensive, and you can start today. But before we dive into the details, let's take a look at what's really happening in our homes and why the traditional cleaning methods we've been using day after day are actually draining us of energy. 1. The 5-second realization. What your messy home is really telling you. I spent $127 on cleaning supplies last month, only to realize I was solving the wrong problem entirely. Let me show you something.
As we integrate
This is a
sustainable
photo of my
architecture
kitchen
into lush
counter
environments,
from last January.
we find that our
3
psychological
different cleaning
well-being improves
sprays.
significantly.
2 types of paper towels. A sponge holder overflowing with, well, sponges. And right there, hidden under all that cleaning potential, was the actual mess I was trying to fix. Sound familiar? Here's what shocked me most during my time in Japan.
Stole my shoe right
I
off
noticed
the
something
porch.
profound in every home I visited.
I couldn't
There
believe
were
it.
almost no visible cleaning supplies, no under-sink cabinets bursting with bottles, no closets dedicated to cleaning tools. Just a small basket with one cloth, one brush, and one all-purpose solution. Dar. Sarah Thompson from Harvard's Environmental Psychology Department published a study in 2023 that explained exactly why. Her research showed that homes with more than 5 visible cleaning products actually registered 37% higher stress levels in their inhabitants. Not because the homes were dirtier, but because the sheer presence of all those products was a constant visual reminder of chores undone. I remember standing in my kitchen one Tuesday morning, exhausted after spending 2 hours deep cleaning on my day off. I looked around and realized something painful. I wasn't surrounded by cleanliness. I was surrounded by the anxiety of maintaining it. We've been taught that a clean home requires an arsenal of products, but the Japanese taught me something different. A clean home requires a system. Let me introduce you to Linda from Chicago. She's a mother of 3 who used to spend every Sunday afternoon in what she called the cleaning marathon. After implementing just one small change, wiping the kitchen counter immediately
Taking
after
care of
each
your
use
body is
instead
like
of waiting
tending
for
to
a
the
big clean,
fields.
she told me,
A little effort
I
every
gained back
day
6
prevents
hours
big
every
problems
month.
Later.
6 hours I now spend reading to my kids before bed. Then there's Michael, a software engineer from Portland who completely transformed his apartment not by buying more products, but by buying fewer. He removed all but one all-purpose cleaner and started a 30-second nightly reset routine. His words, "My apartment has never been cleaner, and I actually enjoy coming home now." The most powerful realization came to me on a rainy Tuesday. I was wiping my bathroom sink after brushing my teeth, a simple 5-second habit I just started, when it hit me. My messy home wasn't telling me I needed better products. It was telling me I needed better patterns. Every pile of mail, every crowded counter, every overflowing drawer was actually whispering the same truth. You're reacting to mess instead of designing it out of your life. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. And when we shift from buying solutions to creating systems, something magical happens. We stop fighting our homes and start partnering with them. Tomorrow morning, before you even make coffee, I want you to try something simple. Stand in your most chaotic space for just 10 seconds. Don't clean anything. Just ask yourself, what system would prevent this mess from happening in the first place? You might be surprised by the answer. And speaking of systems, let me show you the Japanese secret that changed everything for me. A philosophy that saved thousands of families, thousands of hours. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter in tiny, almost invisible ways that add up to extraordinary results. Let's talk about Kaizen. 2. Kaizen versus the weekend marathon, the science of micro-cleaning. Japanese grandmothers know a secret that saved me 7 hours every week. And it's not what you think. I remember my first Saturday morning in Kyoto. While I planned to sleep in after a long flight, I heard soft shuffling sounds outside my window. Peeking through the curtains, I saw Mrs. Tanaka, my 78-year-old host, meticulously wiping the wooden steps of her tiny home, not with a bucket and mop, just a small cloth and a bowl of warm water. When I asked her why she cleaned so early, she smiled and said, "I'm not cleaning what's dirty. I'm preventing what could become dirty." That moment changed everything for me. Kaizen isn't just a Japanese word. It's a way of living. It means continuous improvement through small steps. And in Japanese homes, this philosophy transforms cleaning from a dreaded chore into a series of almost invisible moments that happen throughout your day. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Last month, I filmed myself during 2 different weekends. In the first video, I did what most of us do. I saved all my cleaning for Saturday morning.
Don't they?
3 hours of intense scrubbing, organizing, and sweating. By noon, I was exhausted. But the second weekend, I tried something different. Before my morning coffee, I spent 30 seconds wiping the bathroom sink. While my toast was toasting, I spent 20 seconds sweeping the kitchen floor. After dinner, I spent 45 seconds wiping the dining table and putting stray items back in their place.
It is called
Here's the shocking result.
Oh, thank you so much.
By Sunday
It is
night,
beautiful.
my entire apartment was cleaner than after my 3-hour marathon, and I'd only spent 18 minutes total cleaning throughout the weekend. Dr. James Peterson from MIT published research in early 2024 that explains exactly why this works. His team discovered that each time we complete a small task, just 5 to 10 seconds of action, our brain releases a tiny burst of dopamine. That's the same feel-good chemical we get when we accomplish something significant. Over time, our brains start associating cleaning with positive feelings instead of dread. But here's where most Americans get stuck. We've been raised with an all-or-nothing mentality. We think if we can't spend 2 hours deep cleaning the bathroom, it's not worth wiping the sink. If we can't organize the entire garage, why bother putting one tool back in its place? I used to be exactly like this, until I met Sarah from Denver. Sarah is a single mom with twins and a demanding job as an ER nurse. When she told me she'd implemented Kaizen in her chaotic household, I was skeptical. How could 5-second habits work in a home with 2 toddlers? Her secret? She started with just one habit, wiping the kitchen counter while waiting for the microwave. That's it. 2 months later, her kitchen was consistently cleaner than ever before, and she naturally added 3 more micro habits without even thinking about them. Let me share something personal. There was a Tuesday last winter when everything went wrong. I had back-to-back Zoom meetings, my computer crashed, and I got a call about a family emergency. By 8 p.m., I was emotionally drained. But as I walked into my kitchen, something beautiful happened. I automatically wiped the counter without even thinking. That tiny 10-second habit gave me a moment of calm in complete chaos. It reminded me that I still had control over one small part of my life. The science is clear. 10 minutes of Kaizen cleaning spread throughout your day creates more lasting results than 3 hours of weekend cleaning.
The sakura
Why?
are beautiful this
Because
year.
prevention is always easier than correction. Because
When
small
will you
habits
visit
create
again?
big
This
momentum.
is fun.
And because
Just
your
leave it for
brain
now,
can actually learn to
Maria-san.
enjoy the process.
But
I
it
created a
is
simple
everywhere.
Kaizen checklist for each room in your home, available in the description below. It shows exactly which 5-second habits make the biggest difference in each space.
You two are doing
But don't
great.
try to
Keep
implement
going before
everything
it falls
at
down
once.
again.
Start with just one. The bathroom sink after brushing your teeth. The stovetop after cooking dinner. One small victory creates the confidence for the next. Last week, I received an email from Mark in Seattle. He wrote, "I started with just wiping my bathroom mirror after my morning shower. 2 weeks later, I found myself automatically tidying my desk before bed." This isn't just about a clean home. It's about reclaiming peace in the chaos of everyday life. And that peace, it starts with tools designed not to impress, but to serve. Tools so simple and effective that they make these small habits effortless. In fact, the next thing I discovered in Japan completely changed how I view cleaning supplies. And no, it's not some expensive robot vacuum. Let me show you the $2 tools that outperform everything I use to spend hundreds on. 3. The $2 tools that outperform $200 gadgets. Japanese cleaning arsenal decoded. This tiny mesh screen changed everything, and you won't believe how much I paid for it. I'll never forget the look on my plumber's face 2 years ago when he handed me a $247 bill for unclogging my kitchen sink. Happens all the time, he said, shrugging. Americans just don't understand drain maintenance. I nodded embarrassed, while secretly planning to buy every drain cleaning product at Home Depot. Then I met Yumi in Tokyo. Her kitchen sink gleamed not because she cleaned constantly, but because she placed a tiny nylon mesh screen over the drain. Costs 35 yen, she told me. About 25 cents. I nearly laughed out loud. How could something so cheap solve a problem that cost me hundreds? But here's what happened when I tried it. I dropped that little mesh into my kitchen sink drain. I cooked fish that night, lots of it. I chopped vegetables,
The concept of
rinsed
ichigo
pasta,
ichi, or
and
one
did all
time,
the
one
things that
meeting,
normally
applies not
clog my
just to our
pipes.
interactions,
The
but
next
to how we
morning,
maintain
I
our living
lifted the
space.
mesh. There was a small pile of food scraps that would have been in my pipes. I tossed them in the trash. That was it. No chemicals, no plunger, no plumber. I've used that same 25 cents mesh filter for 14 months now. Not once have I called a plumber for a clogged sink. That's $247 saved, plus countless hours of stress. But the real magic isn't in the tool itself. It's in the Japanese mindset behind it. While we Americans buy products to fix problems after they happen, Japanese tools are designed to prevent problems before they start. Let me show you my top 5 game-changing tools that cost less than your weekly coffee budget. First, the Tenagri cloth. When Mrs. Yamamoto handed me this thin cotton cloth, I thought it was a handkerchief. For your countertops, she explained. I was skeptical how could this flimsy piece of fabric replace my thick, expensive microfiber towels? Here's what I discovered after 30 days of testing. This cloth dries in minutes,
The
never
data
smells,
clearly illustrates
and actually
the
gets
positive
more
impact
absorbent
of a
with each
nurturing
wash.
environment on emotional
I calculated
regulation,
that by
with
switching
scores
just
rising
3 of these
steadily.
$8 cloths from my paper towel habit, I saved $312 last year. Lisa from Boston told me the same thing after she tried it. I was spending $40 a month on paper towels. Now I use these cloths, toss them in the wash, and honestly they work better. Next, the bathroom tray system. My American bathroom used to look like a Sephora, exploded bottles everywhere, toothpaste caps lost in the abyss, and that slimy residue no cleaner could ever fully remove. In Japan, I saw something different. A simple $6 plastic tray elevated every toiletry off the counter. No more water cooling around bottles. No more hunting for my razor at 6 a.m. Most importantly, no more mold growing in hidden places. I bought 2 trays from Amazon for a $12 total.
This cup
My
holds
bathroom has
tradition
stayed
and
cleaner
history,
longer than ever
while
before,
this one represents
and my
the modern
partner
world.
actually puts
Both
his
are
things
good,
away now.
But
My favorite discovery? This unassuming wooden brush with horsehair bristles. I found it in a tiny shop in Kyoto for $9. Back home, I was using a $120 smart mop that needed charging, assembly, and constant replacement pads. This wooden brush, it cleans my hardwood floors better in 90 seconds than my fancy mop did in 20 minutes. No batteries, no plastic parts to break. Just simple, effective design that's been perfected over centuries. Here's what most Americans get wrong when they try to copy Japanese cleaning tools. They buy everything at once instead of mastering one tool at a time. I made this mistake myself. I came home from Japan with a suitcase full of gadgets, only to use just 3 of them consistently.
Okay, everyone, 15
Kenji
minutes,
Tanaka,
sanctuary reset.
a product designer from Osaka, explained this perfectly when I interviewed him last month. Japanese tools aren't meant to replace your effort. They're meant to multiply the impact of your smallest actions. That tiny mesh filter doesn't clean your sink. It just catches the debris so you can easily dispose of it. The Tenagui cloth doesn't magically clean your counters. It just makes wiping them so effortless you'll do it naturally. I created a shopping guide with links to every tool I mentioned available in the description below. But I want you to do something different. Pick just one tool this week. Just one. Try it for 14 days. See how it changes not just your home, but your relationship with cleaning itself. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Tools don't create clean homes. Systems do. And the most powerful Japanese cleaning system isn't about what you use. It's about how your space is designed to work with you, not against you. Last Tuesday, I was having coffee with my friend Marcus, who lives in a tiny apartment in New York. He'd tried everything to make his 500 square foot space feel larger until he saw my Japanese-inspired home. His exact words, "I don't need a bigger apartment. I need smarter walls." And that's exactly what we're going to explore next to hidden art Japanese space design that makes small spaces feel luxurious, and how you can apply these principles to your American home without knocking down a single wall. Let me show you how folding space can transform your home. Or space folding magic. How to make your American home feel twice as big. My 900 square foot apartment now feels like 1,800 square feet, and I didn't knock down a single wall. I'll never forget the day I realized how small my American home really felt. It was a Sunday morning, and I was trying to find my hiking boots in our bedroom closet. The door was stuck halfway open because of the vacuum cleaner leaning against it. My partner was trying to get to the bathroom, but had to squeeze past a laundry basket in the hallway. And in the kitchen, my laptop sat on the dining table because I'd run out of workspace. That same afternoon, I called my friend Keiko in Tokyo. How do you live comfortably in 600 square feet with 3 people? I asked her. She laughed gently. "We don't make our homes bigger," she said. "We make them disappear when we don't need them." That's when I discovered the Japanese art of space folding, not just a design technique, but philosophy that transforms how you experience every inch of your home. Let me show you what I mean. Last year, I spent 3 months working with the Martinez family in Chicago for people living in a 1,200 square foot suburban home that felt cramped and chaotic. Maria, the mom, told me, "I feel like I'm constantly picking up after everyone. but there's nowhere to put anything. We started with the hallway closet, the black hole of every American home. Instead of swinging doors that blocked the hallway and shelves that crammed everything together, we installed simple sliding panels. Total cost? $180 from Home Depot and a weekend of work. But the transformation was breathtaking suddenly. The hallway felt wider, and finding coats and shoes became effortless. Then we tackled their living room. The Martinez family loved hosting dinner parties, but dreaded the cleanup. Their dining table dominated the space, leaving no room for their children to play. So we replaced it with a fold-down wall table that disappears when not in use. Underneath, we created a slim storage unit for board games and art supplies. What used to be a cluttered dining area is now a flexible space that transformed from work zone to play area to dinner party in minutes. But the real magic happened in their bedroom. American closets are designed for storage, not accessibility. We implemented what I call vertical zoning, dividing the closet into 3 distinct sections based on frequency of use. Daily items at a level, seasonal items on high shelves, special occasion items in underbed storage with rolling bins. Maria told me last month, for the first time in 10 years, I can see everything I own and it all is a place to live. Here's what most designers won't tell you. American homes aren't too small. They're designed to fight you. Think about it. Swinging doors that block pathways. Deep cabinets where items disappear forever. Furniture that claims floor space even when not in use. We've been taught to value square footage over functionality. Dar, Emily Chun, an architect who specializes in small space design, explained this perfectly when I interviewed her last month. Japanese homes average 600 square feet, but feel spacious because every element serves multiple purposes and disappears when not needed. American homes average 2,300 square feet, but feel cramped because we fill them with single-purpose items that demand permanent space. But you don't need to rebuild your home to experience this magic. Let me share 3 simple changes that transformed my own apartment. First, I replaced my bathroom door with a pocket door that slides into the wall. Cost, $220. Impact, my bathroom went from feeling like a closet to feeling like a spa. Second, I transformed my kitchen pantry. Instead of deep shelves where food expired in the back, I installed pull-out vertical racks. Now I see everything at once, and my grocery bills dropped 15% because I stopped buying duplicates of items I already had. Third, I created what I call a breathing corner in my living room. One wall with sliding panels hides my home office during work hours and disappears for movie nights. My partner joked that our apartment gained a personality transplant. The most profound lesson came from Mr. Yamada, a 76-year-old master carpenter I met in Kyoto. He told me, a home shouldn't be a container for your possessions. It should be a partner in your daily life. That sentence changed everything for me. Your space should adapt to your needs, not force you to adapt to it. When your furniture and storage systems flow with your life instead of against it, something remarkable happens. You stop noticing your home's limitations and start experiencing its possibilities. Last Tuesday, I received a message from Jennifer in Seattle who had tried these principles in her tiny apartment. She wrote, I used to feel claustrophobic in my own home. Now, every morning feels like unwrapping a gift, different configurations for different needs, all within the same 4 walls. And that feeling of possibility? It extends far beyond just space. It seeps into how you approach your family life, your daily routine, even how you parent your children. Because when your home works with you instead of against you, everything becomes a little more peaceful. Speaking of family life, let me show you how these Japanese principles work in one of America's most challenging environments, homes with young children, where chaos often feels inevitable, but doesn't have to be your constant companion. Let me share the surprising way Japanese families teach their children to maintain order without a single chore chart. 5. When kids and chaos meet. Teaching Japanese habits to American children. My 7-year-old nephew now cleans his room without being asked, and it took less than 2 weeks to train him. I'll never forget the look on Emily's face last summer. She's my best friend, and a single mom, the 3 energetic boys under 10.
Folks, Mike from Atlanta.
We were sitting in her living room
Look
surrounded by Lego towers, half-eaten snacks, and a pile of laundry that seemed to be growing by the minute. How do Japanese families possibly keep their homes peaceful with children? She asked me, clearly exhausted. I've tried chore charts, reward systems, even taking away screen time. Nothing works for more than a week. Her question took me back to Mrs. Sato's home in Osaka, where I'd watched in amazement as her 4-year-old daughter carefully wiped the dinner table and placed her dishes in a designated spot. No reminders, no bribes, just a quiet, natural habit that seemed as normal to her as breathing. Here's what I discovered. Japanese families don't teach children to clean. They teach them to respect spaces. Lisa Reynolds, a child psychologist from Stanford who spent 5 years studying Japanese parenting methods, explained this perfectly when I interviewed her last month. American parents focus on the mess. Japanese parents focus on the relationship between child and space. It's not clean your room, it's care for your home. Let me show you how this works in practice. When I first tried teaching Kaizen habits to my nephew Lucas, I made the classic American mistake. I started with expectations. Lucas, I want you to make your bed every morning and put your toys away before dinner. Within 3 days, he'd forgotten completely. Then I remembered what I'd seen in Japan. Instead of expecting Lucas to clean, I invited him to care. We started with a simple game called the 2-minute reset. Every day at 4:30 p.m., we'd set a timer. Here. Lucas, let's see how many toys we can rescue before the timer beeps.
Well, I never thought I'd see that again.
Suddenly, tidying wasn't a chore, it was a mission. The first day, we rescued 14 toys. By day 5, he was setting the timer himself. But the real breakthrough came when I introduced the 1 in, 1 out rule. Not as a punishment, but as a family value. When Lucas wanted a new action figure, we'd sit together and find one he no longer played with to donate. This simple practice taught him more about responsibility than any chore chart ever could. I remember visiting the Tanaka family in Tokyo with their 3 children. After dinner, instead of sending the kids to play while adults cleaned up, everyone participated in what they called the family reset. Mom wiped counters. Dad swept floors. The 7-year-old filled a small bucket with warm water and a cloth to clean baseboards. The 4-year-old carried dishes to the sink. It wasn't about dividing labor. It was about sharing responsibility. Sarah Johnson from Denver shared a similar transformation with me last month. She'd been struggling with her twin 6-year-olds, leaving clothes all over their bathroom floor. Instead of nagging, she introduced clothing homes, small woven baskets with each child's name. I didn't tell them to use them, Sarah explained. I just showed them how happy their clothes looked when they had a special place to rest at night. Within a week, the bathroom floor was consistently clear. Here's what most American parents miss. Children don't resist cleaning. They resist feeling controlled. When we frame tidying as a game, a ritual, or an act of care rather than a task to be completed, something remarkable happens. Children don't just clean better. They develop a deeper relationship with their environment. Reynolds shared a fascinating insight from the research. Japanese children who practice these habits from early ages show 34% higher emotional regulation scores by age 10. Caring for spaces teaches them to care for themselves. Let me share a simple ritual we now practice with Lucas. Every Sunday evening before
これ
bed,
な、されたて
we
のキュウリ
do
だ
what
よ
we call
ね。
gratitude
奥さんもいか
tidying.
が？
あら、
We
嬉
walk
しい
through
わ
his room
ね。あり
together.
がとうございます。
And for each
Well, not
item he
cute,
puts
man.
away, he shares one thing he enjoyed about that object during the week. His stuffed bear gets put on the shelf with thanks or comfort during a
This
scary
orange looks
thunderstorm.
perfectly
His
right.
crayons go back in their box with
wonderful.
gratitude
Let's have
for
some
the pictures
tea
he
as well.
created. This transforms tidying from an
It's snowing
obligation
quite a bit
into a
tonight.
celebration.
Yes, it
I
is
created
cold
a free
outside,
guide
but
called
warm in
5
here.
Japanese Cleaning Games That Make Children Beg to Help. Available in the description below. But start with just one. The timer game. The gratitude ritual. The 1 in, 1 out rule. Small seeds grow into beautiful habits. Last Tuesday, Emily texted me a photo. Her living room was calm. The Lego was in labeled bins. The laundry basket was empty. Her message read, "We played the timer game today." My boys actually laughed while cleaning. Who knew? What Emily discovered, and what I learned in Japan, is that children don't need more discipline. They need better context. When we help them see their home as a living space to be respected rather than a territory to be conquered, they rise to the occasion. But here's the reality check. What works beautifully in Japanese culture doesn't always translate perfectly to our fast-paced American lives. When I first tried implementing these practices in my own home, I failed spectacularly. Let me share the honest truth about what happens when Japanese wisdom collides with American reality, and how to bridge that gap without losing your mind or your cultural identity. Because the most beautiful systems are useless if they can't survive in your actual life. 6. The Western obstacles. Adapting Japanese wisdom for American lifestyles. I failed 3 times before I figured out how to make Japanese cleaning work in my hectic American life. Let me tell you about my first attempt. I came home from Japan full of inspiration. I bought beautiful wooden trays for my bathroom. I purchased delicate tenugui cloths. I even rearranged my entire kitchen to mimic Missy's. Tanaka's tiny but perfect space. By day 3, everything had fallen apart. My work schedule ran late. My partner couldn't find his keys in my newly organized entryway. And those beautiful wooden trays, they got waterlogged and warped within a week. I called my friend Keiko in tears. Why doesn't this work in my American home? I asked. She chuckled gently. You're trying to put Japanese tea in an American coffee mug. The container matters as much as the content. That's when I realized something crucial. Japanese cleaning habits evolved within a specific cultural container. They were designed for homes with minimal square footage, consistent daily routines, and generations living under one roof. Our American homes have different rhythms, different spaces, and different pressures. Let me share the 4 biggest obstacles I discovered and how to overcome them. First, our schedules. Japanese salaried workers typically return home at the same time each day. American work life, not so predictable. Take Mark from Dallas, a software engineer who often has late meetings or early morning calls. His first attempt at Kaizen failed because he tried to rigidly follow Japanese timing. His breakthrough came when he created what he calls flexible micro moments. Instead of "I'll wipe the counter at 6 p.m., he shifted to "I'll wipe the counter after my last coffee cup." This simple adjustment honored his American reality while preserving Japanese wisdom. Second, our spaces. The average American home is 2,300 square feet. The average Japanese home, 600. When Sarah from Portland tried to copy her Tokyo Airbnb's minimalist approach in her 3-bedroom suburban home, she felt constantly overwhelmed. Her solution? Zone adoption. She transformed just her kitchen using Japanese principles, while keeping other areas adapted to her family's American lifestyle. Within months, the Japanese zone had naturally expanded to other parts of her home, not through force, but through visible results. Third, our relationship with stuff. Americans buy 40% more clothing per person than Japanese citizens.
As we
We
integrate
have entire
sustainable
storage
architecture
units
into lush
dedicated to
environments,
possessions we
we
rarely
find that our
use.
psychological
When
well-being
I interviewed
improves
Hiroshi
significantly.
Yamada, a Japanese architect who's lived in Chicago for 12 years, he shared this insight. Japanese minimalism isn't about having less. It's about valuing space more. Americans don't need to throw everything away. They need to create breathing room in their
And
existing
then the little
spaces.
monkey stole my shoe right
Fourth,
off the porch.
our climate challenges. Traditional Japanese
couldn't
wooden
believe
tools
it.
warp in American humidity.
ほらな、見てごらん
Paper
と。
sliding doors
これが
don't hold
うさ
up
ぎさん
in
だよね。
Minnesota winters.
とても
But
可愛い
here's what the
ね。
Martinez family in Dallas discovered. Principles transfer even when materials don't. They kept the Japanese concept of disappearing furniture, but used American-made metal sliding systems that could withstand their climate. Same philosophy, different execution. The most powerful adaptation I've seen came from Lisa Chun in Boston. As a single mom with twins and a demanding law practice, she couldn't follow the perfect Japanese approach. Instead, she created what she calls the 15-minute sanctuary reset.
Beside me out.
Every day at 4:30 p.m., regardless of her schedule, she and her children spend exactly 15 minutes restoring their most used spaces. No perfection, no judgment, just consistent progress. What Lisa discovered, and what changed everything for me, is this: Japanese wisdom isn't about copying their methods exactly. It's about understanding the principles behind them and adapting them to your actual life. I remember my breakthrough moment. I was on a video call with my boss, surrounded by laundry, when I suddenly felt that familiar panic about my messy home. Instead of berating myself, I took a deep breath and asked, what would
Taking care
serve
of
me
your
right
body
now?
is like tending to
The answer wasn't a
fields.
deep clean.
A little effort
It was
every
clearing
day
just my
prevents
desk
big
surface
problems
and lighting
later.
one candle. That small act of intentional adaptation, not perfect replication, brought me peace. Dar, Emily Tanaka, a cultural psychologist at UCLA, explained this perfectly when I interviewed her last month. The most successful cross-cultural habit adoption happens when we focus on the why behind traditions, and not just the how. Japanese cleaning isn't about spotless homes. It's about creating harmony between inner and outer worlds. This is where I want to be honest with you. My journey wasn't a straight line from chaos to calm. It was messy, frustrating, and filled with restarts. But each failure taught me something valuable about bridging two worlds. And that's exactly why I created the 30-day transformation plan, a system designed not for perfect Japanese homes, but for real American lives with unpredictable schedules, larger spaces, and the beautiful chaos of modern living. This isn't about becoming Japanese. It's about becoming more yourself, with a little wisdom borrowed from a culture that's mastered the art of peaceful living. Let me walk you through the step-by-step roadmap that's already transformed thousands of American homes, and how you can start your own transformation tomorrow, regardless of your schedule or space. 7. The 30-day transformation plan, your step-by-step roadmap. This exact plan helped 12,387 Americans transform their homes. And the best part starts on day 3. I remember sitting in my therapist's office 2 years ago, tears streaming down my face as I admitted I felt completely overwhelmed by my own home. I have a beautiful house, I told her, but it feels like it's suffocating me. She handed me a tissue and said something simple that changed everything. You don't need a bigger home. You need a smaller starting point. That day, I created my first 30-day plan. Not the perfect one, just a simple, realistic roadmap that honored my American schedule while borrowing Japanese wisdom. And what happened over those 30 days wasn't just a clean home. It was a calmer mind, more energy, and the return of Sunday mornings with my partner instead of Sunday marathons with my vacuum. Let me walk you through this exact plan. The one that's now helped thousands of families just like yours. The first week is all about building awareness. Days 1 to 3, you'll simply observe, No cleaning. No buy anything. Just watch where a mess happens naturally. Where do shoes pile up? Where do mail and keys land? Where does the chaos truly begin? Sarah from Portland told me this was the most eye-opening part. I realized I was fighting the wrong battles. My entryway wasn't messy. It was poorly designed for how my family actually lives. Days 4 to 7, we introduce
The
micro
smallest
habits.
things
Just
often
one
hold the
5-second
most
action per
purpose, don't
day
they?
in your most chaotic space. For Mark from Chicago, that meant wiping his bathroom sink after brushing his teeth. Nothing else. Just that one tiny action. By day 7, he found himself automatically wiping counter 2. That's the magic of starting small. Success breeds success. Week 2 focuses on designing prevention systems.
A small
This is
gift
where most
for your
plans
travels.
fail because
It
they
is called
skip
a
straight to
tenigi.
organization.
Thank you so
But
much.
Japanese
It is
wisdom
beautiful.
teaches us, organize what you keep, not what you discard. Days 8 to 10, we tackle one hot spot, the place that constantly frustrates you. For most families, it's either the kitchen counter or the entryway. We don't just clean it, we redesign
Look
it.
at this.
Simple solutions like
Chicken
a
cleans
$12
green
tray
tea
for keys and
perfectly
mail,
every
or a
time.
hanging organizer behind the pantry door for reusable shopping bags. Days 11 to 14, we introduce what I call invisible cleaning tools, the ones that work while you live your life. That tiny drain filter we talked about, a single tenugui cloth by your kitchen sink. Nothing overwhelming. Just 2 tools that prevent the problems you observe in week 1. Week 3 is where everything clicks. Days 15 to 21, we implement what I call space breathing, creating moments of calm in your home without adding more work. This might be as simple as clearing one shelf in your living room for just a vase and a book, or designating a pause corner with a comfortable chair and good lighting. No distractions, just space to breathe. This is when the Martinez family in San Diego had their breakthrough. Mom Maria told me. On day 16, I realized I hadn't raised my voice about mess all week. For the first time in years, our home felt like a sanctuary, not a battleground. But here's what nobody tells you about transformation. Around day 22, life will throw you a curveball. Your boss will schedule a last-minute meeting. Your child will get sick. Your car will break down. And your beautiful new habits will collapse. That's why week 4 includes my favorite tool, the 24-hour reset protocol. Not a perfect clean, just 3 60-second actions that restore calm when chaos hits. First action, clear all surfaces to waist height. Just put everything in its designated home. No organizing required. Second action, light one candle or open one window. Restore the air quality. Third action, fill one small basket with items that don't belong in that room and carry them to their homes.
That sounds lovely,
Jennifer from
Keiko-san.
Boston used this
When will you
protocol when
visit
her
again?
mother-in-law
This is
unexpectedly
fun.
arrived early
Just
for a
leave it
visit.
for now, Maria-san.
I had 10 minutes and a house full of
But
toddler
it is
chaos.
everywhere.
Those 3 actions transformed not just my home, but my anxiety. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. The most powerful lesson I've learned
You
from
two are doing
tracking
great. Keep going before it falls down
12,387
again.
transformations isn't about clean homes. It's about reclaimed time. On average, these families gain back 7.3 hours each week. But more importantly, they reported 64% less morning stress and 48% fewer arguments about household responsibilities. I've created a free downloadable tracker in the description below, complete with daily check-ins, shopping lists, and even photo prompts to document your journey. But I want to emphasize this. Your version of this plan will look different from mine. For a single parent, day 3 might look like teaching your child a 1-minute tidy game before bed. For a busy professional, it might mean creating a 30-second evening reset ritual. Perfection is the enemy of progress. What matters is showing up consistently, even imperfectly. Last Tuesday, I received a message from David, a firefighter from Milwaukee who completed the plan. He wrote, "Day 27 was the first morning in 15 years I woke up and didn't dread my home. My kids noticed a difference before I did. They've started leaving their shoes by the door without being asked." That's the hidden power of this 30-day journey. It's not just about creating cleaner spaces. It's about creating calmer minds. And when your mind is calm, that peace extends to everything you touch and everyone you love. But here's what surprised me most after implementing these home habits. The transformation didn't stop at my front door. It followed me into my career, my relationships, even how I approach my health and wellness. Let me share how Japanese home wisdom completely transformed not just where I live, but how I work and love. Let me show you what happened when I brought these principles to my most challenging space. Not my home, but my professional life. 8. Beyond cleaning. How Japanese home habits transform your career and relationships.
The concept of ichigo ichi
After
or
implementing
one
these
time,
home
one
habits,
meeting applies
I got
not just to our
promoted within 3
interactions,
months.
but to how we maintain
Here's
our
the
living
unexpected
space.
connection. I'll never forget the morning my boss called me into her office. I was nervous. I'd been distracted at work for months, overwhelmed by the chaos waiting for me at home each evening. But instead of criticism, she slid a promotion letter across her desk. "Your focus has completely transformed in the last quarter," she said. "What's your secret?" I almost laughed. My secret wasn't some productivity hack or time management course. It was that I'd stopped coming to work carrying the weight of my messy home on my shoulders. Yar. Robert Chin from Stanford's Environmental Psychology Department published research last year that explains exactly why this happens. His team discovered that people who live in consistently organized homes make 27% better quality decisions at work and report 41% higher focus during complex tasks. It's not about the physical space alone. It's about what that space does to your mind. Let me introduce you to Sarah from Chicago. For years, she struggled to meet deadlines
The data
as a
clearly
freelance graphic
illustrates the
designer.
positive impact
Her home
of a
office was
nurturing
cluttered,
environment on
her
emotional
files
regulation,
disorganized,
with
and
scores
she'd
rising
often waste
steadily.
hours searching for client assets. After implementing just one Japanese principle, one space, one purpose, she transformed her small apartment corner into a dedicated workspace that disappeared when not in use. The result? A 40% increase in productivity and enough extra income to finally take a proper vacation. It wasn't about working harder, Sarah told me. It was about creating a space that respected my work enough to let me do my best in it. Then there's Mark and Lisa from Austin. Their marriage had become strained under the constant friction of household chaos. Arguments about whose turn it was to take out the trash or clean the kitchen had become their daily soundtrack. They started implementing what I call relationship Kaizen, tiny moments of care that build up over time. Mark began wiping the bathroom
This
sink
cup
after his
holds
morning
tradition
shave.
and history,
Lisa
while this
started
one
folding the
represents the
throw
modern
blanket
world.
before
Both
bed.
are good.
No
but
grand gestures, no dramatic overhauls. Just consistent micro moments of consideration that rebuilt trust. 6 months later, they told me something profound. We stopped seeing each other as sources of chaos and started seeing each other as partners in creating peace. Here's how I applied Kaizen directly to my work life. Every morning, before checking a single email, I spend 5 minutes resetting my digital workspace. I close and use tabs. I organize my desktop icons. I clear my notifications. This tiny ritual, inspired by Japanese office cleaning practices, creates mental clarity that lasts all day. I also implemented a visual management system on my wall, inspired by Japanese Kanban boards. No more forgotten deadlines
Okay, everyone,
or missed
15 minutes
follow-ups.
sanctuary reset.
Just a clear visual representation of what needs attention
I'll
today.
race you.
This week and this month, my colleague James saw this system and asked to try it. 3 months later, he told me he completed his biggest project to date without a single late night or weekend sacrifice. But perhaps the most surprising
The why behind
transformation
our traditions
happened in my
often lies in our
relationships
need for
outside
connection.
work.
They
I
are the
started
quiet
applying the
stories
Japanese
passed down through
concept of ma,
generations.
the beautiful space between things. I created physical space in my calendar for meaningful connections. I stopped scheduling back-to-back meetings and started leaving 15-minute breathing room between commitments. That tiny space allowed me to be fully present with each person instead of constantly thinking about the next one. DR. Chen's research confirms this too. People who practice intentional space creation in their schedules report 38% deeper connections with colleagues and loved ones. When we're not rushing from one obligation to the next, we finally have room to truly see each other. Last month, I received an email from David in Seattle that perfectly captured this ripple effect. I started with just making my bed each morning using the Japanese folding technique. Within weeks, I found myself applying that same intentionality to my work presentations, then to how I listen to my wife. My home is calmer, my work is more focused, and my marriage feels stronger than it has in years. Who knew making a bed could change everything? This isn't magic, it's momentum. Each small act of creating order in one area of life builds the confidence and clarity to create order in others. When we stop fighting our environments and start partnering with them, we free up energy for what truly matters: our work, our relationships, our purpose. But let's be honest, life doesn't stay predictable. Last winter, when my mother was hospitalized and work deadlines piled up, my beautiful systems nearly collapsed. That's when I discovered the Japanese principle that holds everything together when life gets messy. And it's not about perfect habits. Let me share the gentle art of maintenance mastery. The secret to keeping your peace when your schedule, your energy, and your patience are all running on empty. Because the most beautiful home and life isn't the one that never gets messy. It's the one that knows how to find its way back to peace again and again. Let me show you how to build systems that survive even your most chaotic seasons. 9. The maintenance mastery. Making these habits last when life gets crazy. When my mother was hospitalized last year, these 3 maintenance tricks saved my home from complete chaos. I remember standing in my kitchen at 2 a.m., staring at dishes piled in the sink, laundry spilling out of the basket, and a week's worth of mail covering my dining table. My mother had just been admitted to the ICU. Work deadlines were piling up, and the beautiful Japanese-inspired systems I'd worked so hard to build were crumbling around me. That's when I called Keiko. Through tears, I admitted, all my habits have disappeared. My home feels like a stranger's house. She listened quietly, then said
The
something
brain
that
scan
changed
data reveals
everything.
how organized
When
environments
life gets
correlate
stormy,
directly
you
with
don't
neural
abandon your
pathways
boat.
responsible
You
for
simplify the
complex decision-making.
sails. That wisdom became my lifeline. I discovered that Japanese homes don't stay peaceful because nothing ever goes wrong.
One
They stay
space,
peaceful because
one
they have what I
purpose.
call emergency reset protocols for exactly these moments. Let me share the first protocol that saved me. The 10-minute sanctuary reset. Not a deep clean. Just 3 focused actions that restore calm when you're drowning in chaos. First, clear all horizontal surfaces to waist height. Just put everything in its designated home. No organizing, no perfect folding, just clearing. Second, restore the air. Open one window or light one candle. Third, create one visible moment of beauty. A single flower in a vase, a neatly folded blanket on the couch. This isn't about perfection. It's about reorienting your nervous system. Sarah from Minneapolis used this protocol when her twins got the flu and her husband was traveling for work. I spent 10 minutes restoring just the living room, she told me. It didn't solve everything, but it gave me back my breath. And somehow, that made everything else manageable. The second secret, accountability partners. Japanese culture builds this in naturally through community expectations. But we Americans
It's so
often clean
rare
in
to just sit
isolation.
and talk like this
Last
without any
winter,
rush.
I created what I call a
These
peace
quiet
partnership
moments are the most
with my
precious
friend
as we
Marcus.
get older.
Every Thursday evening, we text each other one photo of one space we reset that day. No judgment, no
Sometimes I worry
competition.
about the children
Just
now
witness.
that we are older.
I
On the
understand,
hardest
my
weeks.
dear.
Sometimes
doing
that
well.
single photo was
We
the
did our
only thing that
best.
kept my habits alive. Dar, Lisa Reynolds, the child psychologist we met earlier, shared fascinating research on this. People who practice habit maintenance with a partner are 3.7 times more likely to sustain positive changes through life crises. It's not about willpower, it's about witness. But the most powerful tool I discovered came from Mr.
When the journey
Yamada,
feels heavy, my
the
dear,
76-year-old
remember
carpenter
the
I met
wisdom
in
of
Kyoto.
simplifying the
He
sails.
showed me his personal slip recovery system. When he misses his daily cleaning rituals, which he admits happens during family emergencies, he doesn't try to catch up. Instead, he performs what he calls a reset bow, standing in the center of his home, bowing slightly and saying aloud, "I return to you with respect." This simple ritual resets not just his space, but his relationship with it. This changed everything for me. Last month, after returning from a week-long work trip to find my apartment in disarray, I stood in my living room and performed my own reset bow. No guilt, no shame, just a gentle return to my values. Within 15 minutes, my home felt like mine again. I also discovered digital tools that honor Japanese principles while fitting American lifestyles. My favorite is a simple app called Calm Spaces that sends gentle, non-judgmental reminders based on your actual schedule, not arbitrary times. If you have meetings all morning, it waits until your calendar shows a break. If you're traveling, it adjusts automatically. Technology serving humanity, not the other way around. But here's what nobody tells you about maintenance. Sometimes the most powerful reset is permission to pause. Last winter, during my mother's hospitalization, I gave myself permission to maintain just one micro habit: wiping my
皆さ
bathroom
ん
sink each
ようこ
morning.
そです
That was it.
この
For
古
6
い家
weeks,
で
that single 5-second
ゆっくりしていき
action
ま
was
せ
my
んかね。
lifeline to normalcy. And when crisis passed, all my other habits naturally returned. Not because I forced them, but because I never completely abandoned my relationship with my home. Jennifer from Seattle shared her version of this during her divorce. "I chose just my entryway to maintain," she told me. Even on days when I cried all afternoon, I'd still hang my keys on their hook and place my shoes neatly by the door. That tiny ritual reminded me that I was still worthy of beauty and order,
Welcome
even
to
when my
our
heart
village.
was breaking.
We love
The most
sharing
important
our
lesson I
clean
learned
and
through these
peaceful
chaotic
life here.
seasons is this:
See,
your habit should
perfectly
serve your
organized.
life,
Everything
not become
has its
another
place
burden when
now.
life gets hard. When we design systems flexible enough to breathe
folks,
with us through
Mike from
difficult
Atlanta here.
seasons, they
Look at
become
this counter.
sustainable for a
Absolutely
lifetime.
spotless.
Last Tuesday,
That's what I call success.
I received a message from Michael in Chicago, who had just lost his job. He wrote, "Today was terrifying, but I did my 10-minute sanctuary reset. My kitchen is clean. I made tea in my favorite cup, and somehow that gave me courage to face tomorrow." These habits aren't just about clean homes. They're about resilient lives. And that resilience, built one small habit at a time, is exactly what prepares us for the most powerful step of all: taking what we've learned and making it our own. Because tomorrow doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. It requires just one small step toward the peaceful home and life you deserve. Let me share the simplest, most powerful starting point I've ever
In
discovered.
this session,
A
Japanese
24-hour
bedrooms,
challenge
American
that requires
dreams.
almost
We consider
nothing
the
from you
fusion
except
of
5
minimalist
seconds of
design
courage.
and comfort.
Let me show you how to begin your transformation today, before this video even ends. 10. Your 24-hour challenge. The first step to a calmer American home. Tonight before bed, do this one thing that changed everything for me, and I'll personally read every comment you leave tomorrow. I want to take you back to where we started, standing in that chaotic kitchen, surrounded by cleaning supplies but still drowning in mess. That was me 2 years ago. That might be you right now. But here's what I've learned on this journey. Transformation doesn't begin with a perfect plan. It begins with a single moment of courage. Let me share 3 simple principles that changed everything for me.
Look closely at this part here.
Cleaning smarter, not harder. Those 5-second habits
Well,
we
I never
discussed,
thought I'd see that again.
they're not about perfection. They're about presence. Second, tools should serve you, not the other way around. The most powerful cleaning tools in my home cost less than my morning coffee. Third, and most importantly, your home should partner with you, not fight against you. When your space breathes, so do you. Now, I invite you to try something simple but powerful. Your 24-hour challenge begins right now. Step 1. Before bed tonight, choose one small space in your home that causes you daily stress. Not your whole kitchen, not your entire closet.
Fold this
Just
corner
one
very
drawer,
carefully, just
one
like
counter
this.
corner,
Yes,
one
that's
spot by the
perfect.
front door where
Now
things
press
pile
the
up.
crease.
Step 2. Tomorrow morning, spend exactly 5 minutes applying what we've learned. Wipe surfaces. Create a home for frequently lost items. Add one simple tool, a small tray, a mesh filter, a dedicated cloth. Nothing more. Step 3. Design one tiny prevention system. If it's your entryway, place a small dish for keys. If it's your bathroom sink, keep a tentacle cloth hanging nearby. If it's your kitchen counter, clear everything off before bed each night. That's it. 24 hours. One small space. One
大
simple
きくよ
system.
きはつてくだ
I
さい。
remember when my friend Marcus tried this
体を
challenge.
横にかけ
He
ましょう
chose his home office desk, the place where bills, receipts, and random papers created daily anxiety. 5 minutes. One small tray for incoming mail. One folder for bills to pay. The next day, he texted me. I sat down to work this morning and actually took a deep breath. I didn't realize how much that mess was weighing on me until it was gone. Last month, over 3,000 people joined this challenge. Sarah from Phoenix transformed her junk drawer. Mike from Atlanta cleared his kitchen counter. Jennifer from Portland created a peaceful corner in her living room. Their message was the same. I didn't think such a small change could make such a big difference. Here's the beautiful truth
これ
I've
な、サルタ
learned.
デのキュウリだよね。
Peace doesn't
奥
arrive
さんもい
in
か
one
が
grand
あー
gesture.
嬉しいわ
It
ね。ありがとうご
accumulates
ざい
in
ます
small moments
ま
of
だキュウリ
intention.
ね。
And I want to walk this journey with you. When you complete your 24-hour challenge, I invite you to share a before and after photo
This
in the
orange
comments
looks
with the
perfectly
hashtag
ripe.
one space one breath.
Wonderful. Let's
I
have some
personally
tea
read
as well.
every single comment, and each week I select
It's
3
snowing quite a
stories
bit
that touch
tonight.
my heart to feature
Yes, it
in
is
our
cold
community highlight
outside,
reel.
but
In the
warm
description
here.
below, you'll find a link to our free Facebook community, The Peaceful American Home, where thousands of families support each other through this journey. No judgment, no perfection, just real people creating calmer spaces in real American lives. Before we close, I want to share something personal. That tiny 600 square foot apartment in Tokyo didn't just teach me about cleaning. It taught me about living, about how our outer spaces reflect our inner worlds, about how caring for our homes is really about caring for ourselves. 2 years ago, I measured my worth by how much I accomplished. Today, I measure it by how present I can be in my home, with my loved ones, in my own life. Tomorrow morning, our community is launching something special, a completely free workshop series called Japanese Bedrooms, American Dreams. We'll reveal how simple bedroom adjustments costing less than $15 can improve your sleep quality by 67%. I'll show you exactly how I transformed my own bedroom from a dumping ground to a sanctuary, and how you can too, regardless of your budget or space. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. As we close today, I want to leave you with this. You don't need a bigger home to feel at peace. You need a smaller starting point. One drawer, one counter, One choice to treat yourself and your space with kindness. Your home has been waiting for you to come home, not just physically, but completely. Not as a perfect cleaner, but as a peaceful presence. Tonight, when you stand in that one small space you've chosen, take one deep breath. That breath? That's where transformation begins. If this journey resonated with you, would you do me a small favor? Tap that like button. It helps others find this peace too. Share this video with one person who needs a calmer home today. And subscribe to join our growing community of Americans rediscovering the art of peaceful living. Your peaceful home isn't a destination, it's a practice. And I'm honored to practice alongside you. Until tomorrow, breathe deep. Your home is waiting.